This train to Ojimhing is now arriving, and he must not board when the doors are closing as he finds a seat on the quiet carriage, where he recalls the day he met his family after finishing his long delivery work for the day. They laughed about a memory from the past, and he mocked the old man with a cold stare, but he was never really on a subway at all. He only imagined the warmth of his mother, and the way she scolded him in public spaces, but none of those people were ever real. This train ride was just a fading dream. He sits alone in the dark and silence, holding a small toy train in his hand. He realizes his memories are just a hollow construct, staring at the remains of a forgotten soul, because this place is not a home, it is a graveyard of lost hope, trapped inside a crumbling and ruined building, standing alone in an apocalyptic world. This old man spoke of a time long before the world fell into ruin. He described a peaceful life that existed. Until the sky suddenly tore wide open. Massive black pillars descended from the clouds, raining down destruction upon the unsuspecting cities. This impact shattered the foundation of society and erased the world in a blinding flash. He listens to these tales with disbelief while clutching a small metal train keychain. This story sounds like a complete lie because the concept of subways is absurd. People packed together in a cramped space would surely be slaughtered in this wasteland. He dismisses the old man as delusional, since peace is just a hollow myth. Yet he secretly craves to experience travel through those deep and dark underground tunnels. His thoughts are cut short by footsteps as two soldiers approach his hiding spot. Two armed soldiers corner the young man, who decides to play it cool and avoid conflict, while the soldiers stare him down in silence. Realizing their target has been spotted at last, he accepts the situation with a calm sigh. As the soldiers demand to know his identity, one soldier tells his partner to stand down. They question why a postman is wandering here. He claims to be delivering an air raid warning. This soldier studies him with intense suspicion. Noting how few survivors remain in this zone, this postman offers them some leftover food. The soldiers are surprised by the generous offer. He asks what they have to trade instead. They offer medical supplies and small batteries. He considers their offer before making his demand. He wants their ammunition in exchange for food. The soldiers are stunned by his bold request. He smiles knowing he holds the upper hand. He reveals he needs the rounds for others. This postman explains that ammo is the only currency that matters in this desolate wasteland because it is light and valuable, but the soldiers claim they must conserve supplies, so he offers a trade of food for one round. While questioning if they are truly desperate enough to agree, he sweetens the deal with a lighter filled with fuel and presses them to decide if one bullet is worth. This survival gear he holds out in his open bag. He watches them closely with a sharp and knowing smile because he suspects their weapons are completely devoid of ammunition. He taunts the soldier to prove his rifle is loaded, while feigning innocence as the soldier points his empty gun. This soldier snaps and calls the postman high and mighty, but the postman notes their clear inability to return home. He realizes these men are not just stragglers but deserters and mocks them for being nothing more than common thieves. This enraged soldier lunges forward in a desperate blind fury, but the postman remains calm as he exposes their bluff. He delivers a brutal knee strike to the gas mask, and the soldier collapses as the second attacker draws steel. This postman punishes the soldier for his reckless aggression with a swift counterattack. Noting that the soldier moves too slowly, he lands a precise kick to the chest, leaving the soldier reeling in total disbelief as the postman dismisses their pathetic threats. He deflects a desperate knife strike with ease, leaving the attacker stunned by his speed. This postman delivers a heavy blow in return, and the soldier collapses from the impact. This enemy stares at the gear in shock. Questioning how a postman obtained such elite equipment, he reveals the shield has seen better days while demanding compensation for the wasted time. He reaches into his coat with purpose and produces a high-grade hunter pistol. This soldier realizes he is completely outmatched, asking in terror who the postman really is. This postman smiles and claims he is ordinary, while lamenting the damage to his uniform. This postman adjusts his coat and asks if this patch is enough for now while noting the repair costs. He turns to the horizon and asks if they should get going as the countdown to the air raid begins. He approaches the massive gate and commands them to stop. This guards on the wall aim their weapons in panic, confused by the arrival of a mere postman without notice. He presents an official document with a cold expression. This guard realizes the gravity of the situation and freezes. This postman confirms the air raid warning is now active. With less than 3 hours remaining until the total impact, this guards whisper that his presence signals a falling pillar. He reaches into his bag to activate the emergency alarm. This device glows red as they scramble to find leadership. He steps inside the facility as the alarm begins blaring. This postman surveys the interior with a sharp, focused gaze. He notes the steel roof has held up surprisingly well. This crowd panics as they wonder if they must evacuate. One girl stares in shock and declares she is staying. This postman turns his head to witness her final choice. I brought him, Captain, is that the leader of this settlement. First understand their unique rules. In this world they created their own beliefs. Do not say anything until they speak to you. Hey postman, thanks for coming, let me buy you a drink. I do not want panic as a black pillar falling. In 2 hours this is the government prediction. You understand these numbers right? I do not know, I am just a postman. You have seen air raids, tell me straight. You bastard, leave right now, calm down. Second rule, do not interfere. Even if I wanted to leave, I have work. Official business, something like that. It is a device that measures black pillar impact. We compare data, would a roof reduce the readings? According to the experts, the black pillars do not fall. They land precisely like living organisms regardless of roofs. This postman keeps his composure as he prepares To answer the desperate question of time remaining, he knows the crowd gathers for his presence alone. They swarm him with hopes of a fair trade. He ignores their pleas and demands ammunition for himself. His blunt request leaves the surrounding people in silence. A young girl approaches him with a nervous offer. She produces a grenade instead of the requested bullets. This postman questions why she would trade such gear. He inspects the device and confirms its lethal potential. He turns his attention back to the local leader. This man has a secret favor to request now. A girl named Kyung-hee interrupts to join the journey. This postman pushes her away with a cold hand. He demands to know why she is following him. This leader explains she has urgent mail to deliver. This postman finds her persistence to be a nuisance. She vows to stick to him like a shadow. She shines a light to reveal his true form. He snaps at her for wasting power on him. This girl offers a magazine of ammunition, but the leader sighs at her reckless choice. While the postman questions the wealth of this settlement, noting the high-grade military rounds inside, he stares in silence at the unexpected trade as the leader curses the captain for this situation. This postman demands the girl be sent to headquarters because this place is their only home, and he refuses to let her risk her life. This postman scoffs at the idea of a roof. Claiming they can always rebuild what is lost, he orders her to follow him into the ruins. Warning that the air raid is coming soon, he admits the roof will not save them, giving two reasons for his cold silence. First, that people will stay regardless of warnings, and second, that a miracle might still happen. He wonders if they could survive like he did. 30 minutes remain until the bombs fall, and the sky begins to burn with destruction. This captain questions if there are no plans to evacuate while he clings to his old drink. This postman offers a drink to the captain and asks if the man said anything else. He recalls the captain claiming they can rebuild. This postman wonders what those words really meant. He asks the captain for something to eat, and the captain offers a piece of jerky. This girl chews on the dried meat rations while the postman declines her offer of food. He turns his attention to the ammunition magazine. Noting that one round is missing from the count, he realizes the captain gave away a loaded weapon, and the girl thanks him for keeping his promise. She admits she expected him to take the ammo and leave her behind in the ruins alone. She insists on thanking him for his help. This girl gives him an offensive hand gesture, leaving the confused postman to ask what it means. She claims it means gratitude as he sighs deeply. This girl introduces herself as Kyung-hee. This postman warns her to follow outside rules. He shows her how to lock fingers together. She mimics the gesture with a thumbs up. A sudden tremor interrupts their quiet moment. He tells her that it is time to move. The sky cracks open with a deafening roar. He orders her to cover her ears tightly. This sky holds a silent and deadly fury. Black pillars hammer down into the earth below. These objects prevent the world from recovering fully. They target major facilities with terrifying precision. He explains the safety of the underground geofront. A massive strike descends from the dark clouds. This impact shatters the ruins of the city. More pillars pierce the ground in rapid succession. They huddle together as the world collapses around. He notes the settlement had very bad luck. Such massive pillars are rare during air raids. They must recover the device to restore communication. This communication core is lost forever. He tells her the mission is finished. She remains kneeling in the dark ruins. Her gas mask hides her pained expression. He walks away and she follows him. They traverse the broken remains of city streets. Tears stream down her face in silence. She asks him if he is the postman. He claims black pillars have one benefit. She looks up with wide, curious eyes. Her gaze reflects the light above them. The stars shine brighter after the raid. He says bad things are not always permanent. She asks if he is trying to comfort. He admits that he hates seeing her cry. She asks him about his personal dreams. She demands to know his true story. He sighs and decides to reveal something. He holds up a small train keychain. He explains the old world subway system. It is just a miniature replica of the train. He asks her to imagine the real thing. A subway carrying hundreds of people deep underground. He dreams of riding one in this broken world. She mocks his innocence with a sharp glare. She demands to know why he hides the truth. She knows he kept a bullet from the captain. He admits he ate the metal to keep quiet. She is horrified by his desperate survival habit. He tells her she has many bad habits. He reaches out to steady the young girl. He promises to share his food next time. She looks at him with sudden deep concern. He pulls her close as danger draws near. He warns her not to move a muscle. This collapse came from more than just raids. Black monsters emerge from the dark pillars nearby. He prepares to strike them down in silence. His heavy boot presses against the cracked pavement. This creature turns its glowing eye toward them. This sudden realization hits him like a physical blow. She fires her weapon into the encroaching shadows. This muzzle flash illuminates the terrifying truth of their situation. He watches in shock as she reveals her secret stash. This realization that she was armed all along stuns him. She had ammo hidden away for this exact moment. He calls her an idiot for taking such a risk. They dash through the ruins as the monsters close in. He draws his blade to defend their narrow escape path. He warns her that another threat is still nearby. A massive shadow looms over her small frame. He leaps into action to strike the beast down. A dark substance stains his skin during the struggle. This creature is defeated, but the cost is high. She collapses as the dark energy takes its toll. He rushes to her side as she falls down. He demands to know why she ignored his orders. She explains the survival lessons from the captain. She praises his skill while struggling to breathe. He stares into the dark with cold resolve. His hand trembles as the energy levels drop. She questions if their meager supplies are enough. He dismisses the grim odds with a sharp retort. She knows the truth behind his hollow words. With blood staining her clothes, she asks a favor. She produces a letter marked with her own blood. He stares at the envelope and asks about the mail. This sender is from a distant province far away. He reads the destination and realizes it is wrong. She begs him to risk everything for this delivery. Hostile groups are closing in on their position now. She demands he use the item he traded for. It is the final payment for her last mission. Monstrous eyes watch them from the deep dark void. She lies broken on the ground calling his name. This predators circle closer under the pale moonlight. She holds the grenade ready to draw their fire. Her grip tightens on the pin as she prepares. He turns away to flee into the silent night. He accepts the burden to deliver her final message. "Thank you," she whispers with her final breath, as he stares down at the bloodied grenade and realizes the weight of her last request while the shadows converge to claim their prize. A blinding flash erupts in the dark night, consuming the predators in a wave of fire, leaving only a glowing core amidst the ash. He crushes the remains beneath his heavy boot, clutching the prize that cost her everything. He turns his back on the silent ruins, knowing that peace will not come tonight. He arrives at the massive government complex, a towering structure of cold steel and glass. Stepping into the elevator with a hollow gaze, he is greeted by the cheerful director Bei, who mocks his weary appearance with a grin, reminding him of the mandatory mission briefing. He is pushed forward toward the meeting room, resigned to play his part in their game. He enters the hall where the trap awaits. This briefing begins with a display of photos. He watches in silence as the images flicker. A memory of the girl named Kyung-hee surfaces. She taught him how to express gratitude properly. He remembers the weight of that final gift. He raises his hand to interrupt the presentation, asking if vehicles are needed for the heavy load. This instructor hesitates before revealing the secret route. He points to the map and declares it impossible, but the instructor insists that it is feasible because the old subway lines are being rebuilt. This revelation of the subway shocks him deeply. A subway line hidden beneath the city ruins. They plan to move military supplies through the tunnels. Preliminary work is required before the main transport. A new officer steps forward to explain the terms. This mission serves as a selection for recruits. He wonders about the origin of this mysterious officer. Volunteers are ordered to move to the next room. He considers the dangerous path ahead with new resolve. He holds the small train token and hopes to finally see a real subway in person. A cold hand reaches out as he is told that he is an exception, Mr. Woo Jiangkuk. This heavy door slams shut behind him as he demands to enter the next room for his mission. He senses a trap because this officer knows his name. This man hands over a file and declares that he is in charge of the Jumcheon district zone. He wonders if Director Bei pulled strings for him. He asks if he should start the assignment immediately. This officer pulls the file back and denies him. He's confused because the officer just explained everything. This officer claims that personnel assignments are his authority. He realizes he is being briefed but not selected. This officer notes that his background is too clean. It is as if he did not exist before. Someone this hidden must have power or secret backing. This officer admits he hates those with such connections. He challenges the officer to explain his hostile intent. This officer declares he hates sneaky people. He mocks the postman for only taking easy missions. Jiangkuk questions if his skills are truly doubted. This officer remains cold and dismissive of him. He cuts the conversation short for a call. Jiangkuk offers to pay for a dangerous delivery. He accepts the terms to secure the mission. This postman vows to deliver the letter tomorrow. He promises to show what express delivery means. Jiangkuk slams his hand down in frustration. He asks if the mission is truly impossible. His contact questions why he seeks such danger. Jiangkuk insists he will not die out there. He must prove his worth to reach the subway. He calculates the grim odds of his survival. Saving Kyung-hee requires a perfect plan of action. Her final words haunt his waking thoughts. He wakes up drenched in cold sweat. This weight of the mission lingers heavily. He returns to the officer to begin again. "This letter in your hand, that is what you are delivering, right? I am busy right now, so I would appreciate it if you would leave me alone. I have to deliver your letter." "What?" "That person had unavoidable circumstances, so I am their substitute." "What?" "Here the official document. The authorization went through properly too. It was changed through proper procedures by the principal you love so much. More importantly, if I can finish this about 2 days earlier than the deadline, that would make me quite skilled, right? What is your reason? Is it pride? I do not know what you mean. It is just work, so hurry up and give it to me." "Their mail accepted. Now let us hurry and depart." "Mr. Woo Jiangkuk, yes. If you really finish this delivery within 2 days and return completely unharmed. Never mind, please let us meet again alive." Sender Cho Yonghin, New Government Complex. Yonghin, unusual name. What this adorably cute stationery is so unlike them. Did they really write this letter themselves? I cannot even imagine it. A few days ago on the way to headquarters with Kyung-hee, I encountered a monster. Seeing it lead a pack, it definitely had a core obtained through Kyung-hee's sacrifice. This courier pauses with a heavy heart. He wonders if he should make one stop. This world outside is a landscape of ruin. Black pillars of destruction have scarred the earth. From those depths, the monsters emerged to feast. Humanity faced total extinction until the sky relented. A single core became the only hope left. He holds the orb but cannot see truth. He needs an expert to verify the prize. He fears this rare find is a dud. This old appraiser scoffs at the strange request. He demands to know how a courier obtained it. This courier insists on paying for the service. This old man refuses to even look twice. This courier realizes the man does not remember. Time has stolen the mind of the appraiser. He must use a painful memory to reach him. This old man reacts to the mention of family. He reminds the man of a past delivery. A small lie brings peace to a broken soul. This old man dismisses the small payment. as he offers a free appraisal for the orb, but the courier insists on trading rare ammunition because he has never met the daughter mentioned by the man who suffers from deep dementia and uses this delusion to complete his work, while the appraiser confirms the core is useless, warning that the failure rate is 99%, so the courier must handle the orb carefully if he hopes to see its true hidden power. As he recalls how energy and communication cores function, compared to the rare and dangerous ability cores, which carry a lethal risk for any potential user until a sharp voice interrupts the quiet moment, and the courier realizes he is not alone as a woman questions his manipulative tactics, revealing the presence of the stern Dr. Myung, who challenges the courier on his questionable ethics by questioning his lack of concern for humanity, leaving the courier to concede her valid point. This courier explains he sought official documents, but had to fake a sickness to steal this job, and the doctor scolds him for avoiding direct contact, while he admits he prefers to keep his distance, so she demands a future favor for her silence as her eyes glow with a piercing intensity, warning him to respect her status as a hunter because he is just a postman in her eyes, while a glowing core pulses with dangerous energy, revealing the brutal reality of those who survive. By overcoming impossible odds to gain unique powers and joining the secret ranks of the hunters, as the courier confirms he is one of them while the clock ticks down at the facility where the nation prays for his safe return, since 48 hours means certain death, and the courier steps forward to begin his run, knowing he is already behind his own schedule, so he prepares to move with lethal speed because this express delivery will not wait. This courier arrives at the desolate Incheon zone. Namdong-gu is a chaotic landscape of shifting powers. This settlement known as AAA remains completely cut off. He must complete a direct handoff to the target. Finishing this early will silence his arrogant superiors forever. He checks his map, but the familiar path is gone. A massive black pillar has crushed the old safe zone. With no communication, he considers taking a dangerous detour. A sudden voice interrupts his thoughts about the cost. Someone suggests paying a local guide to move forward. This courier watches two men arguing over the mission. He recognizes them from the department and stays hidden. This is the perfect chance to ask for directions. He wonders if these men are worth his trust. One man walks away, leaving the other behind alone. This courier steps out as the new arrival approaches. A hooded stranger greets him with a strange question. They offer to guide him for a small fee. He weighs the risk of accepting their suspicious help. This stranger smiles and promises he has nothing to fear. This courier stares at the stranger. He knows that survival is the only law. Peace is a lie for the weak. He turns away to ignore the man. He decides to find his own path. This stranger grabs his arm with speed. He claims the courier has passed his test. This courier asks where he is heading. This man claims they share a destination. He insists they are both going to Bucheon. This courier corrects him about his goal. He realizes the man is following him. This courier questions the motive of others. This stranger dismisses the local settlement guards. He wonders how the man knows so much. This man claims he reads faces well. He tells the man to go away. This courier denies asking for any help. This stranger laughs with a strange energy. They walk together as the man introduces himself. This stranger claims they are brothers. This courier tracks his every movement. He knows this man is dangerous. Every step is a calculated trap. He realizes the man is watching. This courier senses a hidden threat. They stop to rest at dusk. Darkness falls over the silent building. This courier pretends to fall asleep. His hand never leaves his weapon. He plans to keep a watch. This courier waits for the moment. His eyes snap open in darkness. The pistol is drawn with speed. Both men aim at each other. This stranger praises his sharp instincts. He warns that dull ears die. Tension fills the cold concrete room. They stare down their lethal weapons. A shadow appears and begs mercy. Both men hold their ground with weapons drawn. This older man raises his hands in surrender. He asks if the other is truly Mr. Kim. This courier steps forward with a cold gaze. He commands the man to stop right there. His pistol stays locked on the target. This stranger questions why he is so hostile. A heavy boot steps forward in the silence. A warning shot rings out against the floor. He orders the man to reveal what is hidden. This older man complies with a trembling hand. He slowly unzips his jacket to show the truth. This courier stares at the man with suspicion. A device is strapped to the man's chest. A ticking bomb reveals a lethal trap. This man explains how he was stripped of everything. He recalls a child used to lure them in. This courier identifies this as a raider tactic. He knows the child is just a tool. They prepare for the danger closing in fast. This courier knows they are being watched. Somewhere nearby, a hidden enemy waits to strike. Their plan is to use the man as bait. He tells the man he is already dead. This courier demands he stop his desperate pleading. He forces the man to lie on the ground. This courier needs every detail about the enemy. He demands the man reveal everything he knows. This man describes a massive force of underlings. Two leaders are planning to attack another settlement. He does not know the location of their base. They are hiring mercenaries to carry out their assault. This courier suspects a boss spoke to the man. He dismisses the man as a useless drunk. He vows to report this threat to headquarters. This man begs for one final chance to live. This courier calls death a calm final blessing. Silence falls as the man faces his fate. Sudden raids and monsters make survival a daily struggle. Countless lives vanish in this world without a trace. This courier remains motionless on the cold ground. A veteran observer watches him with sharp intent. He approaches the younger man to probe deeper. He offers a small cube and asks about Kim. This courier questions why he cares about those raiders. This older man hints that he might seek revenge. He notes that Kim died without using his core. It was likely an ability core with low odds. He explains how one should carry such insurance items. Death is a constant threat in this harsh world. This veteran notes the courier is not ordinary either. He asks about the rare pistol and its laser. This courier claims he simply picked it up somewhere. This veteran knows he is hiding the truth now. He left the hunter life to work alone instead. This solitary path suits his survival needs perfectly well. This veteran smiles while the delivery takes a turn. They decide to rest as the night approaches fast. This courier spots signs of monsters near the building. He focuses his vision to analyze the hidden threat. A sharp realization flashes in his eyes. This odds of survival remain dangerously low. He wonders why he chose this path. A simple hunch guides his next move. This silence of the ruins is heavy. He drifts into a brief restless sleep. Morning light reveals he is completely alone. He calls out into the empty space. Only the cold wind answers his voice. Leaving his guard down was a mistake. This veteran has vanished without a trace. He failed to notice the man leaving. Old habits of softness are returning now. He keeps making these critical errors lately. A painful memory haunts his waking mind. He shakes off the weight of regret. A new target appears on the horizon. He identifies the massive structure ahead. Deserters guard this place with heavy artillery. These modified weapons hold the government back. This so-called hopeless settlement is their target. He needs to find a way inside this fortress. A guard questions why he would visit such ruins. He claims he works hard to get the job done. He demands the guard finish his sentences with respect. This guard mocks his supposed luck in this wasteland. He stands his ground as a simple postman. This guard warns him that they do not accept mail. He notes that this place clearly hates the service. He explains that postmen also deliver air raid warnings. This guard freezes at the mention of black pillars. He reveals a letter to prove his true purpose. This guard threatens to cut him in half instantly. Heavy artillery locks onto him as a final warning. He bets they will not waste shells on a postman. He smiles knowing the risk is worth the reward. High-stakes runs grant him massive performance points. He rejects the idea that he relies on luck. His steady hand shows he is in total control. Survival in this apocalypse is never about being lucky. Empty threats will not scare me off today. I still plan to deliver this letter because I have crossed death door so many times and survived not by luck but by playing a game. Either fire that flak gun or accept the mail. Because I have already taken a bet that your gun is unloaded and the guard realizes in shock. How the hell did he know we were out of ammo after that last hunt, and he wonders. How is he this strong while the postman smiles, with a gun barrel in his face as he disarms the guard with a single swift motion, and this soldier falls back in total disbelief at this. Postman obsessed with performance who stands over him now, asking to make a deal since they do not deal with outsiders, but the postman knows his name, calling out Sergeant Wu, who has been digging into his record and finding it is far too clean, almost like he did not exist before this job, and the postman remains silent as the truth looms. It is only natural. Before I became a postman, I lived in secret, as a hunter who stood above the rest. I worked as an instructor training hunters in survival, teaching them how not to die in this world, but the red eyes of the monsters watched us. I was not suited to group life and resigned. That choice led to my demotion from colonel to soldier, shipped to a frontline unit to die. During those exhausting days, there was one oddball. He wore a sly grin and used archaic speech, calling me sir while he opened the heavy gate. It has been a long time since an outsider entered. No one here will welcome you, so do not worry. I do not even know how many years have passed. You have made sergeant yourself now, the postman notes. Yes, I have grown up a lot, he replies, but what should I call you now, he asks. It is obvious, call me Mr. Postman, he says. That sounds awkward, but he knows the military procedure well. This heavy door swings open as the sergeant brings the postman inside to meet this man in charge, who questions the commotion caused by this visitor who admits he was once a soldier and notes how the base hides a rotting truth behind the facade of a normal supply depot where the limit is clearly visible to those who know the game, and the commander asks if he can even report properly, but the postman claims he handles different things entirely while he strikes a pose, mocking the corporate culture with a fake smile. That leaves the others wondering about his true intent as he reaches into his bag to pull out a single red envelope that must be hand-delivered despite the group policy against government mail, because the postman is not ordinary, and he demands specific terms to complete the delivery while the two men walk closer together to strike a deal for his own escape, promising to provide every bit of support while the heavy barrel of the flak gun looms over the postman, who stands silent and focused on the mechanical threat. As he kicks the base to startle this sergeant, who demands to know his business after they struck a dangerous deal 30 minutes ago to secure his payment, and the commander reveals a bag filled with 25 glowing cores as the price for his cooperation, while the postman sits down to inspect the weapon systems, because he knows he might need to turn those very guns against the base to secure his own escape from this facility. As the sergeant watches him work, with growing suspicion about his true motives, and the postman studies the complex machinery, while the sergeant admits he never expected such technical skill from a mere courier. With his unique ability, the postman perceives this probability of every mechanical failure and success, but to truly master the systems he must initiate a physical link to the hardware, which grants him a temporary and precise vision of the inner workings of the heavy weaponry. As he confirms the systems are fully operational, while the sergeant watches him with growing curiosity, because the postman knows these are just numbers that he will eventually turn against this base. As he follows the soldier toward his objective, to meet the doctor known as Jo Shinhai, who once served as a soldier before transitioning to a civilian life with her younger sister, though the guard warns that she is difficult because her temperament is guarded and highly suspicious. leaving the postman to wonder about her ties to the powerful figures in the government complex as the guard rambles about the sister's beauty while the postman prepares to make his move. This postman arrives to find her temper is volatile as she demands he leave, but he stands his ground against her hostility while she stares him down with cold suspicion. He identifies himself as the postman on duty. She mocks his presence and questions his intent. He demands she call for her younger sister, holding up a letter that requires personal confirmation. He notes her reaction confirms his own theory, and he presses her again to summon her sibling. She finally relents and invites him inside the room while the guard watches the interaction with confusion. He is stunned by the strange turn of events. This letter bears the mark of the government complex. She introduces herself as Jo Shinhai and notes absence. He offers the envelope as proof of his mission. She accepts the item while he remains calm. This label confirms the sender is indeed Cho Yonghin. He realizes she has received these letters before, but the guard warns that no mail reaches here. This postman questions if this mission is worth it. He turns his focus toward the woman named Jo Shinhai. A lingering doubt gnaws at his professional composure. He asks if she has engaged in unauthorized delivery. This accusation hangs heavy in the air between them. She remains cold while he presses for the truth. His eyes narrow as he demands a clear answer. Unauthorized delivery means skipping protocol for personal gain. She finds his rigid adherence to rules quite unexpected. He insists he is just a normal postman following orders. She mocks his claim given his current dangerous situation. She denies trading anything and plays with her bracelet. She claims she never writes back to anyone. Her brother sends letters, but she ignores them all. She only wants proof that he is still alive. This postman walks away while processing her strange confession. She asks if the masked man is coming back. She describes a mysterious courier with a hidden face. This postman freezes at the mention of a mask. He realizes exactly who she is talking about. Rumors of a masked postman circulate through the shadows. His low performance hides secret off the book's deliveries. She mocks the mask as a sign of insecurity. He's better looking than average, she admits with amusement. He leaves with proof and a request to find her sister. She insists he will recognize her when they meet. This postman finally understands the weight of those last words. This mission is far from over for him. He approaches the captain to confront him about the betrayal. This captain notes the woman never lets anyone inside. He demands the truth about the captain from his subordinate. Is the leader truly someone he can trust? He arrives to find the man waiting for him. This escape plan is the only topic that matters now. He confirms he has a strategy ready for their departure. A mysterious bag sits on the floor between them. He questions if the supplies are truly for an escape. This man claims they need gear to start a new life. His reaction shifts and the postman senses a hidden lie. These essentials are just the beginning of a dangerous game. This captain insists these supplies are necessary for their survival, but the postman remains deeply suspicious of what is truly hidden inside that heavy bag because he knows that blind trust is a fatal mistake in this game, so he decides to investigate. This contents himself while the captain watches him closely, and a sudden cry erupts from the dark interior, revealing that a living person is trapped inside there. As she desperately scrambles to crawl out of hiding, and the postman stares down at the young woman, who introduces herself while trembling on the cold floor, confirming she is the sister he was tasked to find, but the postman realizes the stakes have shifted as she offers payment to ensure her safe passage and asks for protection for herself and Jo Anna, forcing the captain to rethink his entire escape plan since they now need to move 3 people instead of 2, and he confirms Sergeant Jiang is ready to join them, leaving only the masked man remaining. As the postman freezes, realizing the final piece involved, this postman demands to know why the captain mentions a masked man operating within the walls of the settlement, and the captain confirms that this elusive individual is present, mocking the postman for his ignorance of other courier activities, while explaining that postmen usually operate in complete isolation. But the postman realizes the danger of being discovered here, because if the masked man knows his location, he is in grave trouble and wonders how the captain knows this. This captain reveals that the man visited his office recently, and the truth about the settlement begins to unravel quickly, exposing the hypocrisy of a place that claims no outsiders, because the command has been secretly trading with the world, using the masked man to secure vital supplies and information. While the common soldiers starve in the dark and ignorance, this postman concludes that the masked man is hoarding resources and asks if the captain has made a deal too, but the captain denies any formal alliance with the man, suggesting the visit was merely a test of his loyalty. This postman assumes the man serves the command as muscle, but realizes the terrifying truth that the command serves him. This masked man is a concern, but the plan proceeds. Anna asks the postman a direct question about their escape. She wonders how he plans to convince her stubborn sister. This postman admits he has not done so yet. He declares he will drag her out by force if needed. Anna is stunned by his cold and ruthless determination. She questions why he is helping them at such risk. He admits the promised cores are only part of the deal. His mission is not finished until he delivers the final package. He claims he always fulfills his client requests despite his nature. This delivery was never just about a simple letter. He does not know the contents of the sealed envelope. This goal was to bring the family back to headquarters safely. He reveals the truth to Anna with a grim finality. This cargo he is actually delivering is the 2 sisters. He promises to transport them to headquarters without any harm. Anna stares at him in shock as the reality sinks in. She begs him to promise that he will keep them safe. She pleads for him to persuade her sister to leave. This postman watches her with a cold and calculating gaze. This postman notices the calluses on her fingers. He dismisses her curiosity with a cold wave. He prepares to force the sister to leave. This captain laughs at his brutal and direct methods. He confirms the rumors about the postman are true. Tales of him taking down entire platoons are real. He has always intended to extract everyone from here. This mission is routine for a man of his. He sets the escape for the very next night. This sister refuses to leave her current position behind. She demands to know where her sister is hidden. She questions if the outside world is any better. It is just another trash world to her eyes. He reminds her that family will be together again. He gives his word to ensure their total safety. He has checked every detail to avoid any detection. This flak gun should have been disabled by him. A sudden blast rocks the entire facility without warning. This sky lights up as the defense systems activate. Their escape route is now under heavy fire tonight. This order to scatter rings out as chaos erupts. A red laser sight locks onto his focused eyes. High above the facility, a silhouette watches the unfolding panic. This masked commander signals for the final phase to begin. A single shot echoes through the dark and rainy night. He walks through the silent halls with lethal intent. His expression remains cold as he approaches the command room. He reports that the time for action has finally arrived. This rebel leader admits the postman is a massive threat. If headquarters learns of this infiltration, they will send more. A sharp look passes between them as plans are finalized. He asks if the target can be removed without noise. This is exactly what he came here to discuss today. One day earlier, the group questioned their path to freedom. He claims they will simply walk out the front door. They plan to use supply trades as their primary cover. He explains that this time they have a real postman. She admits she does not understand the logic behind this. He reveals that postmen are known as golden carriages here because they carry valuable goods everyone wants to trade items. This plan is simple and we are going to exploit that. Illegal delivery perks only ever benefited the few in command. Soldiers are starving while the leadership loses nothing at all. What matters is making the deception sound good to them. This postman claims he hid an emergency cache before entering. Captain Choi asks if that information is actually reliable. It seems credible enough to warrant a search team. He will propose sending the postman out to lead them. That is exactly what he will tell the higher-ups. A heavy silence hangs in the air of the facility. Sergeant Jiang salutes and confirms all weapons are ready. Everything went smoothly on their end of the operation. First, I should thank you for joining the escape plan. This sergeant pauses and recalls the day monsters swarmed them. Back when they were still following orders from headquarters, they risked their lives fighting because they believed in protection. But they were only buying time to move embezzled supplies. This place is not any different from where they started. He remembers the captain carrying him on his back. He will follow him even if it costs his life. Big Brother might be all right to call him. A sudden realization flashes in his eyes. This dark silhouette looms in the heavy mist. He turns to find the sergeant standing there. Something felt wrong just behind his back. He checks the empty space but finds nothing. This captain stares into the dark and gloomy night. Storm clouds gather as rain begins to threaten. The search reports are filed and the path clears. He wonders if anyone will interrupt their work. This battery unit is secure and soldiers stay away. He smiles knowing the final preparations are complete. Firing circuits are cut to ensure their safe escape. Their weapons will fail when the moment arrives. He maintains the link to track every shifting probability. This vision allows him to see the future clearly. He hopes the current situation remains stable for them. 0% chance of failure is the only goal. No new variables can be allowed to disrupt plans. He heads off to gather the sisters for departure. He pauses as the irony of the situation hits him hard because the commander is truly unpredictable, and the resupply he desperately needed arrives just before escape. While time drags on and guards question the next shift, as they spot an intruder approaching the restricted flak battery, and demand to know who is trespassing in the zone, until they recall the specific orders from Captain Choi himself regarding the postman who bears the authorized military armband, though they still find his strange mask deeply unsettling, as he presents the bag to the waiting contact, who confirms the payment of 25 cores as promised and notes that he never actually had to ask because he intended to collect only after they escaped, to avoid carrying the heavy load any longer than necessary, so he agrees to pay up front with a refund clause, while hiding a mysterious glowing core inside his dark bag, as he forces the girl to wear a gas mask because she must blend in to survive the coming extraction, and they explain how they tricked the guards into compliance by filing a false report to isolate the target sisters. This postman identifies the key players involved, including the girl hidden behind a mask. As they finalize their plan with a clap, noting that the guards are dangerously lax tonight because the goal is to leave nothing behind, that would slow down their desperate final escape. So they inventory the remaining useful gear and secure smoke grenades for the coming chaos, while deciding to consume the rations right now, as a heavy rain begins to fall outside, masking their movements through the dark, wet base, while the group advances toward the perimeter wall, where a guard stands watch on the tower and suddenly demands they halt their advance. But the postman remains calm under the pressure as the sergeant arrives to verify their status and confirms they are authorized for supply recovery, so they push forward toward the dense forest, while the guard assumes everything is under control as they prepare to bolt for total freedom. This heavy gate begins to slide open as the rain pours down on the metal tower, and the group slips through the dark perimeter while the masked girl wonders if they escaped. But the leader warns that they are not safe until they vanish into the deep forest cover. Yet the open gate signals a tactical error because a pursuit team is clearly being deployed, so the group moves forward without looking back while the leader questions how the guards knew, as the enemy soldiers prepare their heavy weapons, and the realization of their failure hits hard. But they must execute the smoke grenade plan, while the automated turrets lock onto their position, and the leader freezes in sudden disbelief, as the threat level spikes before their eyes because the odds of survival are shifting rapidly, while the weapon systems reach full operational capacity, and the leader stares at the lethal reality as they prepare to run for their lives. This leader screams for the group to scatter. A sudden strike hits him with lethal force. Blood spills as he gasps in pure agony. He collapses into the rain while his vision fades. A red laser dot locks onto his wide eye. This masked guard signals for the final strike. Terror grips him as he realizes he cannot move. Panic sets in because his legs have gone numb. He stands paralyzed while the threat looms closer. Lethal beams fire as he struggles to move. He forces his body to crawl away from death. Desperation takes over as he commands his own limbs. This heavy cannon turns to end his life now. A digital display shows his survival chance at 0. He wonders if this is the end of everything. Memories of a past warning echo in his mind. He remembers that death is not the final word. His fingers reach into his bag for the core. He grips the glowing power to defy his fate. This guards report their target is still alive. This radio crackles with a cold order. All search party members are now targets. Command authority is handed to the masked one. He tracks the postman with lethal intent. I will handle them, he declares calmly. This order to fire echoes through rain. Heavy cannons unleash a storm of destruction. He stands amidst the chaos of war. Silence follows the thunder of the blast. He moves with speed to avoid impact. His hand reaches for the glowing core. Pain and power surge through his eyes. He grips the energy to rewrite reality. A blinding light consumes his entire vision. He opens his eyes in a new place. Everything is quiet on the empty train. Is this a subway, he asks himself. He realizes he died for his gamble. This outcome was perhaps always meant to be. He sees her and whispers the name Hiju. This time you used the core yourself. It was the same back then. You could have run. You used a core because you knew running would not save you. Thanks to that ability you managed to survive until now. A power that sees probability was just a way to run. All I ever saw were numbers that I could not change. This chance I could save Kyunhee was 0.9%. Damn it, for crying out loud, it is just a number. You understand what these values mean, right? You can always build another roof. No one believes me even if I tell them. All I can do is see it. Some people would say even 1% is worth trying. Others would call it reckless. I just followed the path where the odds were better. That is why I always survived and never saved anyone. Being alone was always easiest for me, and this time I could not even save myself. Should I get off here? Jeongguk, this is not your stop. This core is active and burning through his veins. He wonders if this is the end of everything, but the world around him begins to shift. Probabilities are dancing before his eyes in real time. This odds of the flak gun firing are plummeting. His enemies are confused by the sudden mechanical failure. They scramble to inspect the weapon in the rain. A simple jam is what they think is happening. He reaches out to grasp the new reality unfolding. This odds have not just changed, they have flipped. Success is now within his reach for the first time. To see if the core enhanced his power, he draws his weapon with a cold, steady hand. This chance of a perfect shot is rising fast. Even if his legs fail him, he will strike. He smiles as he prepares to rewrite the outcome. Energy crackles around him as he forces the change. This power surging from his bag is overwhelming him. It is time to turn the tide of battle. This victory will not just be something you watch. A single red laser sight locks onto his vision. He stares down the barrel as the probability shifts. This odds of survival sit at a mere 0.7%. With a surge of will, he forces the reality to flip. This enemy soldiers scramble to fix their jammed weapon in the rain. He realizes that he no longer has to accept these cruel numbers. Survival was once a game of following the highest odds, but he is finished with standing by as a silent observer. This weapon in his hand does not fire simple lasers. He corrects the soldier who expects a standard energy beam. This rare pistol holds power that he will now unleash himself. He pulls the trigger and the air begins to warp. A concentrated blast of energy tears through the heavy rain. This mechanical flak gun stands no chance against this sudden strike. Pure heat surges through the barrel as the weapon ignites. This explosion marks the moment he finally rewrites his own fate.